Hello, gentle friends, and welcome to another edition, long delayed, of the Champion Forge, in which we learn to design ourselves a League of Legends champion without any prior experience or qualification. But what's this? Joining me today is Castexus and Happy Lightsense to not design a champion. What task, gentle friends? I guess I'll leave this to Exus to explain. Have we taken upon ourselves this week, which we are supremely unqualified for?
I am just opening a beverage because it's gonna be.
All right, I'll leave it to Happy then to explain.
No.
Okay. We're starting well.
We're starting well.
You've already
People
got
already
people
start to
flaming
throw
in the chat.
shade.
Oh, no, it's a good friend of mine. Thanks, Issa, thanks. So basically, pre-season's upon us. What that means is, Riot decided to release a whole bunch of items, and we thought, well, instead of designing champions, why today? This is perfectly poured, by the way. Why today don't we design items for us as well? We're gonna be designing items. We're gonna give them crazy names, and they're gonna do stuff that you have never seen before. Okay, is that a good intro, Peter? Is that a good intro?
I'm excited. I hope Sissy is excited as well. Items. So that's our promise. Items with effects you've never seen before. You're?
Spooky, maybe?
Spooky.
And weird names. I hope that the chat can help us out with that because we're all... Well, actually, fair. Like, Happy is amazing at coming up with names and stuff, but...
That is true. That is very true.
The rest of us, not so much.
I'm sure that chat can help us. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. I'm sure it's
Yes.
gonna be amazing. We're gonna have all the items with all the names, and potentially fill some holes in Riot's new item system. Before.
What do you mean? What do you mean? The item system is perfect. It isn't flawed in any way. No.
Wait, why are we laying into the item system? We haven't even said anything about it yet.
Well,
my
why
gosh.
did you say something about it then?
All right. So, anyone who's trying not to get blacklisted might describe the current item system as a series of mythics, which are items you can only build one of, and have an interaction with your other items, and legendaries, which are like everything else, which is at least a completed item. So, I think we're probably going to go through and do a collection of those. So, I guess this has been our kind of process throughout the whole thing, is we don't really know what we're doing, so
Yes.
we're kind of doing it by feel. So, I'm going to put out an initial feeling here, and I'll see if you guys agree. So, we're going to like pull a lot of items out of our asses here. I don't necessarily know if they would be mythic or legendary items immediately, or indeed what would separate them in terms of what kind of items should be which. Do you guys have any strong opinions about that? Should we start labeling things before we design, or after?
Oh no! No labels before we design. Because I think like one of the main points of reference I have for this is writing essays, like academic essays, where you work on it and it changes and it changes and it changes even more. And like you might have started with like a fluffy bunny, and throughout your writing process it turns into a freaking dragon. So don't call your essay Fluffy Bunny if you end up with a dragon.
I love that. That's your immediate go-to. I never remembered any of my essays sounding so cool. Mostly it was like on the dynamics of electric currents in a fluid and something boring. Yeah, something boring in those lines.
Oh, hey, Leon. Welcome to the stream. So we're designing... In short, we're going to design some items today. We'd very much ask for you guys in the chat as well. If you have any ideas, I think this is probably the most wide open we've ever been, because we've got no idea how to design an item. So we hope that you guys don't either, and therefore you'll have nothing holding you back from coming up with items that we wouldn't even think of. Do you guys have any... Like, I came to this one, honestly, completely blank. I was really hoping some inspiration would hit me, but I've been looking at the existing items. But do you guys have any kinds of effects or kinds of items already in mind before we start here today?
Well, as usual, I have 2 ideas.
Wow.
2?
Yes, the full 2. One of them is very, very short.
Okay.
One of them is, imagine you have a consumable item, wait for it,
Okay.
That is basically Summoner Spell Teleport, but it costs around, let's say, 800 gold.
Okay. So consumable potion of teleport.
Yes, we can give it a funky name like Rune of Teleportation, even though that's not really funky. But
Okay, sure. Okay, I like that. That's an interesting idea. I wasn't expecting we were going to do consumables, but that's a neat idea. So I guess for a lot of this stuff, because we're not actual item designers, and I guess who starts out life as an item designer? I guess the most interesting thing here is, why is that a thing that the game needs?
Are you asking me or?
Yeah, well, I guess for both you guys, like we're not going to be trying to undercut anything in terms of being like, that's a dumb idea, but just like trying to come up with at least some kind of justification of why is this something that would be good for the game. It doesn't need to be right; it just needs to be something.
I think that teleport has always been a sort of highly discussed summoner spell, especially in pro play, because it's very impactful and it sort of limits your ability to, like, I don't know, pick anything else as a summoner spell, essentially. Like, I would say if I saw a pro League of Legends game and saw a team with less than 3 teleports at this point, I would think that they were trolling. Because it's just the thing to do.
Okay, I'm into it.
Yeah, I think because right now, especially as you said, it's very important in pro play, and teleport is extremely important, like during late to mid game when you as a top laner want to be split pushing, and you have these top laners right now like a Fiora or like a Kamiya who really want to split push, but imagine you give them ignite, then it become a powerhouse, or not really a powerhouse, but they have that kill potential in lane, and maybe even in like a side lane when it's like a 4v1 situation. And don't forget, ignite has an extremely low cooldown compared to teleport. You can literally, because you can say, okay, you can ignite 3 times in a span of 1 teleport, but I think it's even more because you're more almost instinctively, you're more incentivized to use ignite more. So I've had games where I literally had that lasted for 25 minutes and I've teleported twice or maybe 3 times at max. And you have games where you have ignite and you literally might have ignited 7 or 8 times. So if you really want to teleport for an extremely important situation, then you can have it, and it's going to cost you a lot of gold. But if you, because of ignite, if you had, for example, more turret plates or you had 2 more kills, then it actually automatically becomes worth.
Are you suggesting removing teleport as a summoner spell and replacing it with this item then?
I didn't really think of that. But it is very, I never thought of it, but it might actually not be that bad to do.
Because if you didn't, then it would presumably just be people would take teleport and this.
Maybe there could be a sort of like, I don't know, it's gray scaled if you have teleport.
Oh, like one or the other.
Yeah.
Or like a shared cooldown.
Oh yeah, that's nice too.
Okay, yeah, those all seem like actually pretty good solutions.
Maybe shared cooldown makes more sense, because then some people would be dumb enough to actually buy that thing and then realize upon like getting their summoner spell cooldown back that they can only use one of the 2.
I kind of feel like locking the cooldown to each other and making it so you can't buy it if you have teleport functionally serves the same purpose.
Yes, it does, but like if you can buy it but it just doesn't work, that's like a big meme, and I feel like that would be such a riot.
like the time where you could buy 2 boots and they didn't do anything.
I mean, are we trying to get back to that? Is that something to chase?
But it was hilarious and frustrating, because I remember these games where you come back to shop, you're in a hurry, and you double click, and then you leave the shop, and then 4 minutes later in lane you realize, why do I have 5 pair of boots?
Okay.
Oh my god.
I think we've got most of the good stuff out of the potion teleport. I think that's a really cool idea, and that's that's exactly the kind of thing we should love to have here, which is like stuff that people wouldn't necessarily think of at all. So, all right, that's pretty good. So that was your first idea. Apparently that was short, but we managed to get quite a lot out of it. So what was the longer idea?
So the longer idea was this. This was the one I discussed before the stream with you guys. A little sneak peek there for the viewers. So it was a as like a bruiser player myself, as like mostly a top laner in the jungle, I get frustrated when I'm up against mostly up against people who do a lot of true damage, and with the new items that becomes more considerable thought to keep in the back of your mind. And right now against Vaynes as well. Every time I'm up against a Vayne, I think it's so difficult to build against a Vayne because you can build armor because she does true damage, and you can build health because she does percent damage. So I wanted something that maybe not negated true damage, but something that you can build against very heavy true damage comps, which are actually or sort of a thing now. So my idea was to have an item that kind of reflects true damage to the person, to actually the person that's attacking you. Or now that I'm thinking of it, might even be like an activatable item. But you have to, for example, like you launch a rocket or whatever. You launch something in line, and if that hits the person, and they're dealing true damage to you, you reflect a huge part of the true damage.
Okay, so it's so you're talking about like a sort of like store true damage as a missile.
Yeah, because you have to aim it. Then I think if once again ties into the stuff where if you can kite well enough, the item doesn't do anything. But if you manage to get on an AD carry, or if you manage to get on someone who does a lot of true damage and you hit them with the item, then suddenly the fight completely changed around. So there is skill involved, while there is actually also counterplay involved against certain champions.
Okay, so why does this need to exist?
Personally, I kind of don't like true damage in the game. I think it's I really don't like true damage. That's it. I think you need to. I get why it exists, and I get why it is important in certain comps. And like Vayne is known for true damage, but it got to a certain point now where there are so many. Whenever I click at a load at like a dead screen right now, I literally see 7 people doing more true damage to me, or like it's not 7, but I see 4 people doing more true damage to me than any other type of damage. And I think, but there is no build, there's nothing to do against true damage, because as the name suggests, it is literally a flat amount and you can do nothing against it.
Wait, let's rewind before we go too much further.
Yeah.
You mentioned that there's a reason why true damage exists. From where you're sitting, what is that reason?
The reason is, as in, there were seasons as well where you had tanks that were almost unkillable, and then they made tanks do more damage, but be less of a I will stand in the laser in the turret in the fountain laser for 10 seconds and I won't die. So then they said, okay, so the first solution to that was, let's introduce more and more true damage in the game, and then they took away tankiness, so the first solution wasn't really applicable anymore. So that was kind of I think that's why one of the reasons why true damage still exists.
Okay, and
the thing is that it's coming back though. Like I've seen really, really big boy tanky science standing in the fountain laser chilling. So I do feel like true damage still has a place in the game, but maybe that just that shouldn't take away from the fact that there should be counterplay for it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that if this item were to exist, I presume it doesn't just work against true damage, because that would seem like it would have a very, very narrow window of usage.
No. I think you would have something like the old, maybe even something along the lines of an agent, something where it gives you both resistances in the form of magic resist and armor, and it might also give you something else. But you're mostly buying it not only for the stats, but mostly for the counterplay and mostly for the active part of the item, but it on itself will be a sort of, if you would consider it without the active, it's an item that is just not worth it. But with the active in a niche situation, it is definitely worth it. I think that would be a good spot for it to fit in.
What I'm kind of getting here is this feels a lot like the. Is this just sets W as an item? So where he takes damage, he gains.
Maker.
Yeah, well, he gets the damage, and then it builds up, and he can spend that damage to.
Oh. I didn't think of that. I thought it would do like, it would be like a projectile in a line, and if
Okay.
you would hit if you would hit a person with it, then you kind of become linked. But I think I
Okay.
like your idea more, and it is actually kind of the haymaker of set, as in the more true. Although that might be a little bit of P now that I think about it as well.
I do like your idea more, where it's like you soak up a finite amount of damage and then expend it as a sort of a missile. And I think just like from a design perspective, the item could be some sort of Petricide item, because Petricide is the thing that does the stuff. You know, that's like the thing that they use in Demacia to soak up all the magic, and we've seen it like the animatic where the people are fighting against Silas on the bridge. Which one was that? Was that I don't know.
You're the lore master.
I'm gonna look it up. It's the one that has Lux in the thumbnail. Anyway, we can see in that one how it's called Warriors, by the way. And yeah, you can see how Silas sort of expends the magic that is in his shackles that he soaked up from all the people around him. And I think that could be cool with that one, with the item that you're thinking about.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, so that makes sense. So we're talking about like it. So it would like shoot out like a Ezreal Q kind of idea.
Sort of. It can be quite slow. I wouldn't mind if it was like the speed of an Anivia Q.
Okay.
Because I mean, the thing is, the counterplay for this, of course, well, don't get hit by it, and then it means it can do massive amounts of damage. But if you can dodge it, then well, it doesn't do anything. Then it can do 5k damage. Well, for all I care, because you don't get hit by it.
Oh my god. Okay.
So, all right, we're not going to leave you in charge of the balance numbers.
No.
So presumably, I guess the way which this works is that you get a larger kind of charge from true damage, and then that way it works against all damage. It just does more, or it charges up quicker. So it's still got some utility against everything. It's just that you would prefer to use it against teams that are running true damage because it's more effective against them. Okay, I think that's pretty neat. Like I like that you managed to sidestep the whole thing of like, but what if we have true shielding, which blocks true damage?
You mean like Pantheon E?
I would like to say. All right, that's pretty neat.
Nice item for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it would have a place. Here.
Cool. So I know I actually don't before this, but I'm hoping that maybe Leon might come up with something, or CC. But if they don't, Happy, have you got anything on your mind before we start kind of looking at the existing items and seeing if anything leaps out at you as underserved?
I was actually already looking at the existing items, and I don't know if you remember that I told you of the one Reddit post I read about how the item Moonstone Renewer isn't actually a healing item. It's an item that heals. So
I'll grab that for the stream's purposes. But yes, please carry
on. Like the problem with the item is that it's sort of marketed as an item for healers. because it's like its passive ability is that it heals people. Like it heals nearby allies
Hmm.
For 60 to 90 missing health, and that's like, I don't know, whatever. It stacks. It stacks. Like the longer you remain in combat, the more it stacks. But the problem is, as a champion that's supposed to heal your allies, you don't want to be in combat. You don't want to do that. You don't. You that's not where. No, no. Just you don't want to be a Nami that's like in the middle of the fight, throwing bubbles left, right, and center. You want to go like sort of beside your AD carry or your carry or whatever, or like slightly behind them, and heal them with your W and like give them buffs with all the other items that you have or something. But this item specifically says that you have to be in combat to activate the super duper extra heals. So it's actually an item that will work best on champions like Zyra or Brand or I don't know, all of those sort of magey powerful supports. But the thing is, there are so many better items for them, so none of them would build Moonstorm Renewer. Like,
yeah, I suppose it feels like the assumption built into the item is that you're right. Like, so for a Soraka or whatever, who's maybe staying really far back.
All right, I forgot about her.
Well, she's using abilities, but she's probably, I don't know how much she's auto attacking. Probably some amount, but not like
a little bit,
as
like,
much as someone who's in the middle, like you said.
Like a tiny bit.
Yeah, but she also doesn't really have the attack speed to really like do that. And you have to keep in mind that you will use your own, like as Soraka specifically, you will use your own HP to heal your allies. So you will get lower and lower, and when people realize, oh, there's a Soraka here that just keeps running into my face, maybe we should just kill her instead of like the people that she's healing. Because then you take the healer out of the fight immediately.
Okay, so if we identify this item as being problematic, possibly ban-worthy, what we've created a problem here. What is the solution to this problem, Happy?
I think if we took the like being in fights sort of caveat out of the item, it would be way too OP. If it was just like, oh, when you heal people, heal them even more. That's not the way that we're supposed to go with this.
You mean redemption?
I don't know what's not fun or interactive about just making a certain effect stronger.
Even stronger.
What about the idea of that your target of your heals? I don't know. The thing is, there's a lot to unpack here in terms of how it's supposed to be used. I did have the idea occur to me, like, what if the target that you use it on is in combat?
So it's sort of like, it could be like, what if the unique passive was that you heal an ally and they get this sort of like aura for a certain period of time, and if they go into a fight, then the aura will amplify the heal and like keep them topped up for however long the aura stays around. Like, you know, when
so kind of like and correct me if I'm wrong here, so kind of like a Sona W, like a Sona heal that they bring along with them, and it can be no? Okay.
No. I was thinking about
We're doing well.
I was thinking about you know, when Soraka hits somebody else with her Q.
Sure.
She gets a heal basically. And then if Soraka then with that like extra heal heals an ally, this healing aura.
Okay.
You know? So it's not necessarily an aura that like surrounds them, but it's just a visual effect to show that they're still under the healing effect. And
So
it's not like
I'm thinking like World of Warcraft style buffing before a raid kind of situation.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I get what you mean. You know, where you before you go into an instance, you kind of, okay, let's buff each other up before we go into the fight. As in, while in League at the moment, you want to buff while you're in a fight.
I'm not sure you get what I'm trying to get at.
No, but-
Sorry.
So, just in case this is just a matter of not being familiar with the subject area. So in World of Warcraft, like you'd have buffs that would last, say, 30 minutes or something, and before you went and took on a boss, you would then you spend like 5 minutes like putting all of these buffs on people, and then they would last for the duration of the encounter. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. But are you talking about something somewhat different than that?
Just like a specific or a more specific mechanic. So, old Soraka used to give mana, which all the Soraka players are missing.
Yes, mid lane Soraka for life.
Yay! But the thing is, she doesn't do that anymore, obviously. So if you heal someone, you just heal them for a flat amount, and like everybody's sad because early game Soraka isn't as oppressive anymore.
I'm not sure the other people are that sad, but yes, sure.
But if you hit someone with your Q as Soraka, you get like a sort of heal over time effect on yourself, and you can pass on the heal over time effect onto people that you heal. While you have the heal over time effect. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a heal over time effect.
So you kind of okay, you're not duplicating it, you're literally passing it over?
It's sort of duplicated a little bit.
Yeah.
So like it I think it's a 2-second heal over time. And if you if the 1.5 seconds have passed and then you heal someone, they still get a 2-second heal over time.
I'm trying to sort of equate this to something else just to make sure I'm understanding it correctly. So if you've got this, what should we call this item just to differentiate it from Moonstone Renewer? Sunstone...
Old Maker.
Alright, the Sunstone Old Maker.
Sunstone Pensioner.
Sunstone Pensioner. Okay. So it's just an old pensioner you just carry around in your bag. I mean, sure, why not? They don't like being in fights. They're not having it. So,
no.
So how do you activate the Sunstone Pensioner? By healing, or?
Yes. I think that it would just... Like, if you use a heal, you put a, 2 or 3 second overtime effect onto your allies that doesn't activate unless they attack someone then, with that effect on them.
Oh, so you're effectively giving them a potion?
Sort of. But it's not just a heal. Maybe it's like a little bit of a heal and I don't know, a speed boost, so that they're sped up for 1.5 seconds after their first auto attack.
Okay. Okay, that's an interesting idea.
That could be really good to start fights, and then if you stick around, you can then apply this Sunstone Pensioner's aura onto more people, and it's just speedy people running around attacking each other, potentially being healed forever and ever. But there's still the counterplay that some people can just get one shot. Despite being buffed up by the old Pensioner.
It's very much a
Pensioner, I like it.
Pensioner. So it's very much a win more kind of item, as something along the lines of like a mage ice, as in if you build it while you're behind, it's very bad because you want to be in fights. So it means that if you build it while your team is ahead, it's going to get you more ahead, which I think is kind of high risk, high reward kind of deal.
It's kind of like, it feels to me like it's a sort of an ability enhancement item.
Yep.
I think Dota has that much more, where it's like you have certain sort of aspects of abilities kind of locked behind being that you own a certain item. So this would be literally just the kind of thing to mean that that you've kind of got a little bit more decision making to do with your healing, in terms of because it's got all these different kinds of effects added to it now. I guess the speed primarily, that you can use your heals in different ways.
Well, and communication, because you need to be able to if you can communicate with someone who will engage, or someone who's like a bruiser who does a lot of damage, and you say, I'm gonna use it now, or like my what was it called? My Sunstone Pensioner is ready now. I'm gonna use it in 3, 2, 1, engage then. That's gonna be really impactful, but if you use it while retreating, it's not gonna really do all that much.
Oh yeah, because you have to auto attack.
Yeah.
Does it?
I like the auto attack part, yeah.
Okay. I like. So does this have a? Because we need to kind of think of some use cases for this. So does this have a per target cooldown, or is this just something you can activate over and over again?
I think it should have a cooldown, but maybe it has a sort of the refresh on kill sort of deal. So
Okay.
if the
Yeah.
person that you
Oh.
healed gets an assist, or no, maybe if somebody gets an assist, I don't know.
Somebody somewhere.
You can do. I get what you're trying to do. I think you can solve that issue with what Maw of Marmortius had, as in, so Maw of Marmortius had a cooldown, but the cooldown only so the passive stayed active, like the lifesteal and the spell vamp or whatever, as long as you were in combat. So if you're like if you're in combat for like 20 seconds, you still get the item. Is that what you're trying to get at, Happy, or am I seeing this wrong?
I don't understand.
Okay.
Doing well.
Okay, so Maw of Amortius, the old
Yeah,
one.
it had this funky shield. Right?
Yeah, it had the shield, but it had also had, when the shield was procced, you had 15% spell vamp. But the spell, and that lasted for 8 seconds after you left combat. So it meant that theoretically it could go on, and the cooldown was already ticking. So, for example, you go into a fight, the shield procs, you also get the spell vamp, but then the fight lasts for 30 seconds. That means effectively you've lowered the cooldown of your item by 30 seconds because you were in that long of a fight. So
would it work that it has a per target cooldown that goes down more rapidly in combat?
Ooh.
It's nice. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's a cool idea.
So if you keep fighting, then like maybe each auto attack reduces the cooldown on you. So like if you're an AD carry and you auto attack a lot, then you can get buffed more often than, I don't know, someone who just one-shots their targets with abilities and never auto attacks.
Okay. Why would it be best to, like, is there a particular reason you want it to be tied more to auto attackers? Is it just because it's the whole AD carry bot lane kind of?
Yeah, sort of. And it also then would make sense to like build it as like a foundation to build all the rest of your items on top of. Because like you build it early, and then if you have it, you can start engaging into more fights in lane. Because you get your buffs back.
Okay. It's an interesting item. Like, I'm trying to think, is there, like, this is maybe a question which, it might be a bit unfair, but I'm just in case you've got an answer for it. Does this solving a particular problem then?
It is solving the issue of enchanter supports, because we have items for the super aggressive AP carry supports, which are like basically all the mage items. We also have items for the sort of tankier supports, which are either tank items or locket. Yes, tank items or locket. We have this Imperial Mandate type of thing that could also be built on things like Senna or I don't know who else is there. Potentially Karma, because it's like an item that activates on slows and immobilizes. So I don't know, maybe even Lux if you don't want to build super high AP carry items on her. But we never got an item that's good for enchanters. And I get that they tried to make Moonstone Renewer the thing for enchanters, but like I said at the beginning, it doesn't work.
No, because it's not for healers. Because as a healer, you don't want to be in the fight. You want to get
Yeah.
the hell out of the fight.
It's not for healers, it's for
Uh,
healing. That's two different things.
Okay, I kind of like it. Actually, your item gave me a cool idea for another one as
Ooh.
well.
Shoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we done with the Sunstone Pensioner?
Yes.
All right. That's all right.
I'll draw a little sun.
Yes. Actually, maybe if you are able to do this, we can have. So I'm keeping the items off screen just because we need the main screen for doing things. But maybe we could have a little picture of each of these things just on the side, so we can.
Oh, we
remember
never
that.
named the true damage counter item. We could have a I want to do something as in true, as in it is not a lie, like the reverse of that.
The reverse of a lie.
Oh no. Well, or as in or deceit, because that's something Riot loves to have in
Oh, Bastion of Deceit or something.
Yeah, Bastion of Deceit or something. I think that'd be because it's the reverse of true.
It
or
could be something with forgery.
Oh yeah, I like
Ooh,
it. Yeah.
That's why you're the
Super
marketing
ugly.
manager.
Or what do you think of this? Forgery's Grace.
Or Shroud of Forgery?
Or Shroud of Forgery?
Forgery's Grace sounds too much like a healing item.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Sorry, what was yours? Shroud of?
Shroud of Forgery, but I feel
That sounds
like
like a stealth
maybe...
item.
Yeah. Well, it does like a line, right? Or I
that's
think
true.
Forgery's Engage is maybe a bit too on the nose. Or
Fabled Forgery.
That's a good name for anything.
yeah.
I don't know if it really reflects this. So
I
what we
mean,
need to...
Zigazee or whatever.
well, actually, so if this is a shield that kind of gathers damage together and then kind of expels it back out, the name probably needs to include something that gives it some idea that that's the case.
Forgery's Assault.
Shield of Lies? I don't know.
Shield of
Lies. Shield of Lies.
It could be like Mirror Shield. So it just reflects it back. Oh, what's another word for reflection? Let's go. I'm having the thesaurus on tab right now.
Yeah. Let me look at it.
You know this actually happens in the right offices, just the big leather-bound thesaurus that people just Vlump.
Okay, so reflect.
Yeah,
So it's going to be something reflect. Something.
Oh, Echo. Oh no, we already had Luden's Echo. Revert.
All right, let's not get too high up the item.
Well, we'll circle back on that one later.
Okay, so currently it's reflect something.
Yeah.
Just reflect something.
Reflect.
Leon, if you can think of something that's like a sort of shieldy thing that collects an amount of damage and then you can throw it back.
Collection mirror.
Collection mirror.
I kind of like that one a little bit more, just because it's a little more related to what it actually does. But I don't know. All right, let's. You said you were inspired. Someone was inspired by something.
Yes.
An item. Let's hear about it.
So because of the what was it, Sunstone Pensioner?
You want to have a more pensioner-based items?
No. So my idea was, what if there's an item in the game that gives you lifesteal, but here's the kicker: it doesn't give you lifesteal.
What?
So it gives the lifesteal to an ally. So kind of like the reverse what the old Knight's Vow did, as in, okay, so an ally, you bind with an ally, you take the damage from the ally, or part of the damage. What if you, for example, you have an item that gives you 15% lifesteal, but it doesn't give you the lifesteal, it needs to give it to your ally that you're bound with.
Okay.
That's a way for you, for example, when you're okay, I'm a tanker, or like I'm an engager, or I do a lot of damage, but I actually want a way to keep my support healthy, or to keep my AD carry healthy, because all the AD carries are screaming that they don't stay alive in fights. You think, okay, this item might actually help my AD carry to stay alive.
So
That sounds nice.
something like the Zeke's Herald on TFT, where it's literally just giving stats to your ally.
Yeah. So the thing is, for example, so the damage you deal, you get lifesteal from it, but it reverts that health, the lifesteal you have, not to you, but to someone else. And once again, it is an item that if you buy it purely for a solo lane, you're not gonna have a good time.
Oh my gosh, sorry, I just noticed Happy drawing the items over on the side. We 100% need to get these on the main screen.
Oh,
It's
let me
just
take a
one
look.
little one.
Oh, cool.
Alright, we'll leave it as a tease. I have to admit, I'm a little confused with this. Maybe if you could expand on like what. So can you give me like a use case for this? Because I'm still a little confused.
Okay, so let's say instead of lifesteal, you get like spell vamp, or like omnivamp, it's called.
Okay.
So you're a Riven, you're pretty fat.
Sure.
But you can see that your AD carry is screaming in Discord that, oh, AD carries are on a power this season. I keep getting one-shotted by tanks. Okay, that's fine. So what you do is then
That's
you
not
as
fine.
Riven, but well, you as Riven who is fed, you buy the item that gives you Omnivamp, and as soon as you get into a fight, damage you like 15% of the damage you deal is being funneled into as a healing into the person you bound with. So for example, into your AD carry. So the more damage you deal, the more someone else is healing. So for example, you can protect your damage dealer with your squishy damage dealer with you dealing damage.
Hey Zucchini,
Yay.
how are you guys doing? Okay, that's actually really interesting.
Yeah,
So
I like that one.
It's Death Dance has a baby with Knight's Vow.
Yeah, yes, sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Knight's baby. That's
No.
Vow.
Death's baby.
That's baby.
Baby Death Knight.
Baby Death Knight. Yes, I like it.
We've just got a whole bunch of items which are just people just carrying other people around.
and it's just like this little.
It's a team game.
It's this little guy that just runs between you and the guy and the person you're bound for. Like,
oh god, this sounds like the worst. I love the idea though, because that is totally something believable. I could see being in the game. Like not to say that the other ones aren't, but like in terms of that's. I have a feeling that's almost certainly something they must have considered at some point.
I think, now that I think about it, they kind of must have considered it, and probably they went, it's not for this meta. But right now, with certain AD carries being, like, they get one-shotted by tanks, I think this is something that might actually be very healthy for them.
Yeah, I think I like it for a whole bunch of different reasons. That it's like that it's tied to how much damage you're doing, so it's not just like it's just makes them straight tanking. It requires you to be proactive with it. Like, so it kind of feels like it sort of self-balances to an extent, in that if you know that somebody's got this on the team, that you can go out of your way to try and make sure they're not either they're too far away from them, or that they're not dealing a ton of damage while you're trying to kill the AD carry.
Yeah, and also you must take in regard that you are. If you build this item, you're playing for the team. Because basically, well, the lifesteal, the Omnivamp part, it doesn't do anything if you're on a 1v1 lane. Or it doesn't do anything if you're not part of a team fight. Because we're probably going to put a small to medium range on the item. That, I mean, suddenly when you're in bot lane and suddenly your mid laner gets a kill, oh, I got a 400 HP heal. Well, that's not really the case. You want to be near them to get the heal.
We've had a challenge from the chat, Exodus. You've been called out
by
Zucchini Chris, who is one of the coaches for the Uwu Woo Woos. Sorry if this is how you find out, Chris, that you're not the only one. Why would you buy this item if you are like, you know, if you're damage dealing carry over just buying more damage and winning?
Well, that's a good thing.
Challenge, sir.
Yes. Okay. So because you're thinking solely of like AD carries at the moment. But imagine you have a Lulu or a Soraka in your team, and and the enemy has a Zed, and this or like a Zed or a Kha'Zix who is pretty fat, while you're pretty fat as well. And then you can have a situation where I am someone who deals a lot of damage and who wants to go in fights. Even though I'm fat, don't actually have a way of protecting that particular person in my team. So this item might actually keep your Soraka alive. It might actually keep your Lulu alive while you still fulfill your purpose as a person who does damage in a team fight. You can even build it as someone like a Ryze or someone like, let's say, Syndra, where you can have consistent DPS. Actually, this might be an extremely healthy item, extremely good item on a Cassiopeia. Like a Cassiopeia and an Enchanter support, or like another squishy champion. This is extremely helpful for them because you constantly do ease on tanks, and that person that person won't be able to get one-shotted anymore because it gets healed and healed and healed.
Happy, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. Baby Death Knight.
I know, that's a lot of strategy, isn't it? Let's call it Baby Death Knight's glove. There you go, so it's a little...
I think it could be a good item. But I don't know. I feel like you're still falling sort of into the trap of like making another item that's good on paper, but that doesn't work for the intended group of champions that you make it for.
I think that's fair, because right now I hope I'm understanding where Zucchini's coming from, which is that if this is all that it does, it sort of just means that you're giving up your lead to help someone who's presumably kind of falling behind, or at least is struggling in the game, and that seems a little counterintuitive. So is there something we could add on to this that would allow this to kind of be to kind of have it, maybe the damage transfer thing be kind of just part of it rather than the whole thing?
Well, you can kind of say that it gives you like a lot of maybe. Okay, so I'm thinking of who would be good people to build this on. Imagine people who do a lot of damage, obviously. So maybe like mid laners or top laners, sometimes junglers. So let's say it is an item that also gives your ally resistances, or is that? I think that might be a little bit too powered. I don't know.
You're being too like reliant on people actually wanting other people in their game to do well.
So to me, this really strongly comes off like a mythic, because I think this has to be something which is a choice between sort of three different effects that, like, so it's got to have a bunch of stats in it, so it has to still be a viable offensive option for you. But that this is like its secondary effect is that it's something you buy if you think that you're a particular person on your team needs more defense. But I also see where Hab's coming from, which is that I feel like it needs to be sexed up in some way. I don't really feel really awkward saying that about the Baby Death Knight's glove. But I think it needs something to make it more kind of appealing, because right now it feels like it's a very...
Baby Death Knight's
glove. Baby Death Knight?
No, I get what you mean. There is something missing there. Like not all the pieces are in place.
I think theoretically it's a great item. I think it just needs something to kind of make it feel like a great item as opposed to just actually being a great item. I don't know, maybe making a little baby that runs around is enough reason for people. I don't know.
Still that you wrote built on a champion.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I stopped typing halfway through.
No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair.
What? So maybe this Omnivamp thing, maybe it gives them like a Bloodthirster style shield.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe, yeah, maybe it could be a defensive item for you and them in some way. That when you do this, you create a shield that's like, it's kind of a minor shield, but it's a minor shield that affects both of you.
Okay, so how about this then? So then it's actually extremely attractive. So instead of getting Omni,
it's extremely attractive, baby. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh wow. Wow, awkward. Sorry. No.
We're all going to jail.
So it gives you. reasons it. It gives you a shield. We can choose to share the shield.
Nobody
With
will
the
share the shield.
No, but they will. Like if they're smart, they will. So,
But
because
League of Legends players aren't smart.
no, I know, but that's like the thing. If you're smart, you can climb, right? So that's the idea. Where so you get Omnivamp, but instead of you getting massive amounts of healing, you get a shield that goes away. So as in, yes, you're able to trade very efficiently in lane. Actually, this might be a good idea. So you can trade efficiently in lane, but you won't be able to get the health back. Because if as soon as your shield runs out, for example, like you can say you can cap it at, or you can say it only stays active for like 4 to 5 seconds, then the item goes on a 10-second cooldown. So it means, okay, you can go for trades, but afterwards you need to back away. But you can also choose to give that shield to an ally.
Oh wait, Danny's had a revelation. We'll have to wait to see what it is.
Okay, here we go.
So I was thinking about expanding this idea. Ooh, it's a revelation. What about if the Meanline says, that was I don't know why that was. What about the idea? So I like kind of where you're going here, which is that the item, because we've kind of got a weird combination of things. Where effectively we're making a support-ish item that has to work for a solo laner, and that in itself is weird. I mean, we're talking about the whole sharing thing, and I think Happy's absolutely right. If we ask League of Legends players to be selfless and sub-passion with people they hate almost as much as they hate as their opponents, their own team,
yes,
they're not going to do it. But what about the idea that the it's like a sort of a bloodthirster kind of effect that just gets stronger when you're near that ally? That you're
Nice, yeah.
because then it's more like you're motivated to do it rather than even though it basically, if you look at it a different way, it's just nerf when it's like it's not as good, but it's not useless. It's just that it's better if you're with someone else.
Yeah, no, I like it. So it does, however, mean that it is probably more favorable in the bot lane because you're in a duo lane. But I get what you mean, as in it's an item that you'll probably buy on your on your 3rd to 4th slot, because then that's the time when you're all sticking together as a team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So bind to an ally to duplicate this shield. What about the idea that the ally you're bound to can also fuel the shield?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be a little bit too busted then? Because then, like, you can fuel each other.
Yeah. I
If
feel
that
like
person buys the item as well, then you basically you're giving it, like, it's like you're giving each other continuously handshakes. Like, you're doing great. No, you're doing great. Well,
I don't know.
That's like people
I
building 2 support items in the bottom lane.
I mean, that was a great idea. I don't know why you didn't like that. Okay, well, maybe not. I wasn't totally convinced about that idea, but yeah, I think that could potentially work. That it's just like it's a damage to shield. It presumably has to be less efficient than a Death Dance, but it has team utility that lets you provide it to someone else. I think that's a neat idea because I like the it becoming a shield because it helps to feel what you're talking about with its use case. It's then more about, like, are they getting assassinated, in which case this actually helps them. Because if they were getting assassinated and you healed them, they're already dead.
Yeah, I actually think, now that I think about it more, I think this might be one of the... Because Omnivamp is kind of in an, I don't want to say problematic spot, but it's not in a super healthy spot as well. I mean, look at Kayle. So if you get stuff where, like, Omnivamp gives you a shield, then it's good for fights, but at a certain point you won't be able to sustain infinitely.
Sorry, I'm just putting up on the stream. Congratulations to Panther to making it to the Blasted Lands. I don't know what they are, but they're apparently very exciting.
Woo!
I don't know what that is, but
He's having a
congratulations.
blast. Can we find a better name than Baby Death Knight's Glove? Because
I mean,
I
I'm
feel
kind of
like...
attached to this now. It's pretty great.
Okay.
Okay, so actually, how about Baby Death Knight's Mittens?
Yeah, because, like, mittens protect you against something.
Yeah,
right?
and you're passing a mitten to the other person.
I like that.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
That
Do you want to
sounds
keep the baby in there? You can call it Death's Night Mittens. I think.
I mean, Baby Death Knight's Mittens is much more evocative than Death Knight's
Yeah,
Mittens.
no, baby. I can get by Baby Death Knight's Mittens.
All right. I'm
And
into
you
it.
could, you call it BDM then.
No! 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 That's way too close to the other thing!
Well, this is going in the vault of never being released again.
No!
It's way too close to the other thing. Good save. I like that saying.
Oh, jeez. All right, quick, let's get it off the screen before we get in trouble. Also, I'm gonna get the picture of the Sunstone Pensioner just in the bottom left there.
Yes.
So this item would be good on damage dealing champs. Yes, I think that's the whole idea with it, is that it gives a damage dealing champion a way to sort of provide a supportive role in the team.
Mhm.
I don't know if we've done enough to make it appealing to that kind of thing, but I guess we'll.
I mean, I think it can be extreme. I think it might actually be in a position where it might be extremely overpowered, but I don't know yet because I have no idea how to.
Yeah, I think it's a neat idea, like taking some of the the supportish kind of items and trying to apply their mechanics to items in other lanes. Because I think you're right, like that could be kind of interesting. Like if it's good enough by itself, but it also has an upside that helps out your team, then I think people will probably still go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. All right, that was pretty neat. Oh damn, we're doing pretty well so far. So does anyone else have any other conundrums that we can solve here today as professional designers? Which I love the idea that you can just be a professional designer. You're like, I just design things. I don't need to know anything about them. Just like, I'll design a car now.
My craft is ideas.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we're the ideas. You know, when people say
it's like when you get this like, this is very much stereotype, but because I am an actor, I don't act, I am the character. And like, no, I am the idea. Something like that.
I am ideas.
I am ideas. They just flow out of me.
That's why you have to wear adult diapers as a designer. All right, so do we have any other diaper-clad concepts? Any more baby mittens to throw around?
Any more babies? I don't know. I haven't really looked into all of the items in game yet.
So, not sponsored, BT Dubs, but lolshop.gg is pretty good for because you can see everything pretty quickly there. So we've got supporty items, we've got tanky items, we've got ape. So actually, so this could be a thing that we could try and find, because there's the whole thing with the mythic and legendary item system is that the Riot have kind of struggled, I think, at times to find items that will fit for every kind of character. And I think like a big part of this item rework is basically to say the way to solve that is to make an item for every kind of character, that even if they got really similar effects. So for example, we've got like 3-4 different ways of making Grievous Wounds happen, which are all like could all just be one item, but they were divided into pieces. Like, are there any types of champions that you guys might have played over time which you thought this one isn't really being served specifically by this item system, or this kind of style of play? It's a little awkward in terms of how the items interact with it. I'm fully prepared for you to say no.
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
So, for instance, one of the design problems that's been solved, or at least approached by the current item system, is that AP bruisers didn't really have like an item specifically for them. Like it would have extraneous stats or like an effect that's kind of like somewhat useful for them, but it didn't address their particular play pattern.
Yeah, because either you did, because as an AP bruiser before, you either built damage, or what was more the case, you built tank. So, and then they gave you something. Well, with this, you're kind of in the middle. Okay.
So this is quite a hard ask, and again, I fully expect the answer to be no. But are there any parts of the game which you can think of even get kind of out there ideas, because obviously Riot have intended to cover all their bases here, but are any kind of styles of play or like approaches which you think could be served, even if we have to really pull something weird out?
I'm just gonna quickly get all the champions in we're gonna look up all the champions and see if there's kind of a niche that they missed.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them.
So what I've heard is that Crit is in a very bad spot right now.
Okay.
Although I haven't played any Crit champions.
I mean, we've never been burdened by an overabundance of knowledge on this podcast, so we can go wild with it.
I would like to have some sort of insight on this. Like, I just know that so you have those 3 items that are good for marksman. You have the Kraken Slayer, you have the Shield Bow, and what's the last one? It's where is it?
Shield Bow,
Gale
Kraken
Force.
Slayer, and Gale Force, which is the
Right.
Blink Dagger, basically.
The Blink Dagger. So you have those items, and then you build like normal crit stuff. And apparently, oh no, not apparently. So they nerfed crit to be just worse in general. I think like it's less effective. Crit doesn't deal the same amount of damage that it used to do.
Well,
But it's
items
still
give
just like-
item gives less items
Yep.
give less crit. Wow, that was hard.
Yeah, it's
I don't
20.
know
It's
why.
20% for all of the items now. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it used to be 20. So it kind of means that you so you need to build more crit to get to like an efficient crit level.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the problem with that is that the items are still just as expensive as before. Maybe just a little bit less expensive. But still, as a crit AD carry, your build path is very expensive, and it takes you a long time to get to the point where you're actually effective. And with games being more centered around the early game, or like early to mid game, it's very hard to be an effective, useful crit AD carry. And then you have things like the Rat with the Hat, who is suddenly not an AD carry anymore, but builds AP. And then you have things like Misfortune or Jin, who have always sort of benefited from lethality as a thing. And they can now build all the assassin items. So
Oh, okay. So you want to buff crit champions. Actually,
I don't know. Maybe the best buff that you can give crit champions or crit items is to give them more crit for what they're worth.
okay. So how about this idea then? So Cull gives you something when you kill 100 minions, right? It gives
Sure.
you gold. What if there's an item but you need it? It's an item that it's like a general item. It's an item that gives you it would fit into an AD carry roster. It doesn't really matter, but it's as expensive as a regular AD carry item. But it's an investment to the late game as well, because if you kill 100 lane minions with it, you get an extra 20% crit.
Mm-mm. It would either have to be super expensive for that to work, or more than 100 minions, because crit is essentially it's still a good mechanic, and it could still be very oppressive if you're just lucky with your crits. So just giving you an item that's I don't know, 450 or 500 gold or whatever it is, and let you just farm for not even that long. It doesn't take a huge amount of time to get to 100 minions, and then you just get 20% crit chance. That's a lot.
Well, you say that though, but yes, it doesn't. It's not really hard to get 100 minions, but you need to buy the item first. For example, imagine that it's an item. It's like an item that costs 3,300 gold, then you have, let's say, approximately you have 60 minions killed. They need to get to 160 minions, and it is still an investment. So it's like an item. Okay, I'm not going to be as strong as someone else when I buy the item, but if I get 100 minions, I'm going to be stronger than the others.
Wait, just to rewind a bit. Also, hey, Moon Knight, how you doing? So what problem are we solving here with this item? Is it that crit is too hard to access? In which case,
it takes too long to get to an appropriate crit level.
Yeah,
For
Okay, so
where-
so the point of this is to accelerate crit.
Yes. And I think so. I'm looking at Cloak of Agility right now, which is the item that gives you crit chance, and it gives you 15% for 600 gold. And I think that could be a good marker to like figure out how expensive the item could be, and like how we could like at which stage it could come in like a laning phase situation.
hmm Well, I get you're because you're right on the you're absolutely right on the idea that not the idea, but when you said crit is not in a healthy spot, because they kind of tried to solve it with Infinity Edge, where they said, look, you get 8% crit per 20% crit. The problem is Infinity Edge isn't really worth it unless you have like a lot of crit already. And the bad thing is also you need exact 20% crit, so it's like it's kind of iffy sometimes. So
Also,
there
it
needs to
doesn't
be
round up.
no, it's not like, for example, if you buy a Cloak of Agility, you get 7%. You need to get like it gets you 8% when you have 20%. It gets you 16% when you have 40% crit. Like it gets you 16% extra. But if you for example, have 45% crit chance, that 5% crit goes to waste on the passive for Infinity Edge, which is kind of weird because it shouldn't work that way.
Okay, my brain's exploding with all these numbers.
Wait, it's numbers, crit, left, right.
It's like, where do we land? I got a little, I went into a fugue state when the numbers started coming up.
So do you have another idea to solve the issue then, Happy?
No, that's it.
Oh.
That's like it's an issue for a reason. It's because people just don't know what to do. It's like you either make it really accessible, and then all the people who build crit are super overpowered, and you don't really have a way of fighting against it, or you sort of keep it in the stage where it is right now. And like the only thing that I could think of that would maybe make it a bit like more balanced, I suppose, is to sort of guarantee a late game in a game. But I don't know how you would do that.
Well, so Mike had a sort of an other idea as well, which is very similar to, I think, probably what a lot of people have thought about. Sorry, I don't mean that as a slight at you, Mike, at all. It's that I think it is a good idea. This is going pretty far off of what we were talking about, but that I personally hate Critical Strike. It feels like a real blunt force way of dealing with like a particular problem, which feels like it could be solved a bunch of other ways, and it makes me mad every time someone's like, but it makes the game more exciting. Like, mages don't need crit and they're still totally fine. But he's talking about
and the RNG element is also something I really don't like about crit.
No, I don't either. So Mike had, I mean, I think they must. I'm certain, Mike, they've tried out this idea. So he's talking about the idea of Critical Strike becoming basically becoming a charge that you do. So that you say if you've got like 10% crit, like that every 10 attacks you will charge up your crit, and then your next attack will be a crit. And then if you buy more crit chance, each attack becomes more.
Oh, okay.
Up faster. Like this is going pretty far off because we're starting talking about system, like changes there rather than items. Interesting.
No.
Danny's got some stuff to say about it. I don't think they're actually even talking about the. They're not talking about World of Warcraft. Oh my gosh. Oh wait.
So to reiterate, Pete, what you're saying is that, for example, if you have 10% crit chance, every 10th auto attack, kind of like with the Caitlyn passive, will do double damage. And if you have 100% crit, all of your auto attacks will do double damage, which is basically the same end result as you would get now.
Yes, the idea is to try and end up in the same place where functionally it works in the same faction and fulfills the same function, but there's no ambiguity about when it's going to happen. Or
I like that a lot, actually. I like that. I think that's to be fair. I think that's a more health. I would like that particular way of looking at crit
better, more than the current crit we have in the game. Because what I always hated was the fact that crit is RNG, where it shouldn't be RNG. Like you can have these games where you have 70, like you're an AD carry, you have 75% crits, and you do 5 auto attacks, and you never crit, and you lose a fight because of that. Or you have the opposite, where someone has 20% crit, and you're playing against them, and they got lucky and got 3 crits in a row, and they won a fight. It's like that shouldn't be a thing. You should have a way to consistently proc it, and I think your solution is very elegant.
So interestingly enough, it turns out I misinterpreted what Mike was trying to say. So apparently, I'm confused. Happy according to exclusive us.
No, I'm not confused. I'm just also really tired. I think I understood the thing that Mike wanted to say, and like I was like in my mind, I was going back to what Mike wanted
What did Mike want that was different than what I was suggesting?
I think so. You made it a sort of like a counting sort of deal. So you count to 10, and the 10th hit is gonna be super duper good.
It would
but
be
Mike
like
was saying, Mike was saying that you have crit chance, and the more you attack a champion, the higher your chance of critting is. So you can't really buy. Like I suppose that's what he meant. So you can't really buy items to enhance your crit chance. Maybe you could buy items to enhance crit damage or whatever. But you always have like this set amount of crit chance, and the more you fight a certain champion, the higher it gets.
Like kind of what the old Ashe passive was, as in the more you auto attack, or the longer you're in a fight, the more crit chance you have until you crit, and then it resets.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike's more consecutive kits, but after a number of seconds it goes away, so it ramps in a prolonged team fight. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of like the old Ashe passive.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool too.
Okay.
Wait, I'm just going to go look up this now, because I cannot for the life of me remember the old Ashe passive.
So the old Ashe, and he had the thing was he had to level one cheese with Ashes because he had to double up. So the old Ashe passive was so your crit chance ramped up a lot, and there was a duration. 100% remember it word. I thought it was like either you were in combat and then it ramped up per all attack, or either you weren't in combat and then it ramped up over time. And so if you were doing nothing for quite a long time, you would have 100% crit chance at level 1, meaning that you would have a guaranteed crit at level 1. So what people
Okay.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I do remember this now because it's completely not what I was thinking you were talking about. Yeah, it's literally one that gives you, like, if you don't do anything, you get more crit chance.
Yeah.
No, I hate that idea personally.
Yeah, that was the old Ashe.
Sorry, I'm just enjoying Happy's expressions when I come out with stuff. I just think like that feels like it's the opposite of what a ability should be in terms of like it just like all it's. I mean, it's
even more RNG as well.
Well, I mean that one particularly isn't because like, but I just think it's just not an ability that kind of like is particularly interesting. It's just like when she starts combat, she deals more damage, which that's not a bad thing. Like, you know, because champions have that. Like, Miss Fortune. Like, Miss Fortune has poor sustained damage because she has a lot of single target damage to start with, but it doesn't. She can't repeat on the same target easily. But I feel like that's almost a different thing. Like, so Mike, I kind of feel like Mike's one's sort of similar. So just the more you attack in a given fight, the higher your crit chance is. So your damage just sort of like just ramps up over time.
I like that better than the whole count to 10 and then you die sort of deal.
I mean, if you have OCD, you would love this. Then,
but I don't. So
no, I don't as well. Like I'm ADHD. That would mean like the people who are like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2.
Oh no, I don't think you'd have to count. I think it would be like a bar that fills up.
Yeah, but that's boring. That's really boring, Pete. Honestly.
I mean, this.
I don't know.
This would be more clear than the than.
Yeah, it would be more clear, but it would also be really boring. Nobody would play crit ADCs ever.
All right, I just want to quickly go back to what Danny was talking about. The problem is with tank items, Lux gets a warmog because you can't die, but deals the same damage.
Oh, it's because he misunderstood you. He thought that you said like when you said that mages don't have crit and they're fine. he probably understood that like mages don't need. No, wait, I don't know. I don't really know what he understood per se, but like he's not really adding anything to the conversation right now with that. Sorry.
Actually, I think I thought of an item.
I love that we're
Because you
trying to
said-
interpret what people... Oh no, yes, let's go on to something else, because I don't know
Oh
if
my
there's actually anything.
So no, because I thought of an item and then I immediately realized, wow, it would be broken as hell. So
That's fine.
imagine you could crit an ability, because I was thinking of TFT. Well, actually in TFT mages had crit for a while, but then I could imagine, okay, so
They still got it.
Syndra ults, and she literally does twice the damage for her ult, so you're basically dead no matter who you are. Like, that doesn't sound right.
That's
I
not
mean-
a good thing.
I mean, we could design ability crit into the game, and I think you should do it by every spell you get a little pip, and then on the 10th spell, it does double damage.
Oh, maybe you also have to play a little mini game to activate the damage, like tap
Yes.
at the beat or something.
I mean, I'm
God
so
damn
glad
it.
we're on the same page, Abby.
And it also gives you a visual indicator because
Yeah.
otherwise it would be too random.
Yes, and the
Oh.
indicator is it covers everyone's screens. If you've got a printer attached, it prints out a little spool. You
Yes.
have to put together an origami figure, which
No,
the
you
people
know
on
you
the
get
other
a
team have to judge.
you get a text message that says your next ability will crit.
Yes.
That's why you've got to verify. That's what it's all
Yeah.
been leading to.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's
That's what
brilliant.
You're gonna get an automated text message from a server that says your next ability will crit. Good luck, Commander, or something like those.
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're really well. I think we're probably coming towards the close of things today because we're going towards
Yeah.
Fun and Sanity.
Madness.
I think if we can stretch out for 10 minutes, we can make it an hour and a half. So, all right. What's the most bonkers item you can do? You can think of, which we can somehow make into a
Oh,
viable
okay,
thing?
okay.
That's goofy item time.
Yeah. Bring back revive. This item.
Okay. Yep.
This
Already.
item isn't not like Guardian Angel is, but it's instantly you die. It has an active. You press it. You're alive again with full health, and all your cooldowns are back. Bonkers
Okay, so-
item.
Active effect. Come back to life. I
Yeah.
think. I mean, that's a good start. But I feel like
Yeah.
we need to spice this up a bit. What about if when you come back to life, one of the
Yeah,
enemies
sorry.
comes back to life as well?
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. No, the person. Yeah.
The person that killed you. And what
Yeah,
if
but if
they
he's
are still
alive?
alive? Then he gets double the HP.
Yeah, then he gets all the oracles. Yeah, or something like this.
Wait, so you come back to life and kill them, or what? I'm
No, you
confused.
come back to life and revive the guy that killed you. But if that person is already alive again because they respawn sooner or
Mhm.
whatever, then they get healed for the amount of HP that they usually have for like their max HP. And if they're already at full HP, they get a shield on top of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But they
Oh.
also lose the ability to control their champion, and they get like, I don't know, 100% extra movement speed towards you, so they
Oh,
just fly
I-
in your direction.
I just thought the most.
God.
Yeah, I just thought of the most toxic item ever.
Ah.
It's called lag spike. The active
Okay.
is for the
You
next 15 seconds, the enemy team has to play with 400 ping.
Okay, so you get transferred to a different server.
Yes, something like this.
Okay.
So, like,
A good item would be bad internet connection.
yeah. But it's balanced because the enemy team can also buy it, and then it just comes to who clicks it first in a team fight.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's appalling. All right.
Oh, come back to life, but you're reset with one item less, RNG chosen, which is Pete's favorite thing, RNG.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Resets after dying again.
Then people,
Okay.
then
Come
people-
back to life
no,
and lose a random item forever.
But that's actually good because it would incentivize people to buy awards on the off chance that awards you would lose a ward instead of an item. So you would
it's-
actually.
hmm.
That's interesting.
You'd have yeah, I guess I mean, that sounds exactly like the full level of garbage that makes me,
Yeah.
that keeps me away from a mini game. So, yeah, I like it.
People buy useless crap. Like, oh, I'm gonna buy a potion, a Doran's blade, a Cull, and a ward, and I'm gonna buy this item. And I'm just
Okay,
gonna
I
go
will
full on
take your
ham.
lose a random item, and how about lose a random item slot?
Oh wow! I mean, if you're an early game, I like it because if you're an early game champion, it's still good. But if you're a late game champion, it's really bad.
Wait, like you lose the item slot, so like you can only have 5 items from that
Yeah.
point onwards?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think that's just spicy enough for the end of our show. Yeah, and then we lose that item if if there's something in that slot. That's exactly the kind of trash I'm looking for here.
And you also can't rebuy it.
Yes,
Ever.
and you
I mean, do you want to
and
rebuy
your
it?
teammates.
I don't know what if you
Can't
lose a
rebuy
really
it.
good item.
I mean,
you
Oh,
hate
that-
your teammates. Oh my god.
I mean, if you lose
maybe
it,
if you
do
put
wanna
wards, if you put
rebuy
wards
it?
in your
'Cause then,
inventory,
I
then
mean, oh, I lost the fight, so I'm a little bit behind. Guess I'll roll the dice again.
yeah. If
No,
so, if you fill
don't
your inventory
lose
with
the
wards
item
and potions and
that
stuff,
made you lose the item, but you like
Oh.
lose the item forever that was lost due to the item.
Okay, I gotcha.
Oh, so is the revive one like a consumable?
yeah, probably. We think
Sure.
we had a
Because if
refresh.
it's a consumable, I just buy 6 of them and run it down.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're right. Consumable.
But oh yeah,
one time
I
only.
can see a problem with this item now.
I like the idea. that you
Whatever
consider-
might it be.
I mean, it's hard to identify the problems amongst all
I
the
like
other
it.
problems.
I like it.
That's a fun
All right, so we've managed to ruin the game. How else can we ruin the game?
Also, I looked at items that have been removed from the game.
Mm.
Mhm.
Let's bring them back.
And one of them that like jumps out at me is the golden spatula.
Oh,
It
yes.
used to cost 7,437 gold, and it gave you boosts in every stat category.
That was-
but
wasn't
isn't
that
that
from
one in
Nexus Blitz?
I think
Yeah,
it's a Nexus Blitz special.
Yeah, it was
It
the
might
Nexus
be,
Blitz
but
I
Triforce.
actually
feel like
liked it.
I feel no, it used to like it was built from BF Sword, Vamp Scepter,
Mhm.
Zephyr, Needlessly Dodge Rod, Kindle Gem, and Aegis.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So
Yeah.
you build it from all the things, and that's why it gave you
It
all
was like
the
it was a
boosts.
Triforce.
I think that was a next. I kind of liked that idea though, because I had been like, ever since I started playing League, I thought, what if there's an item that gives you like bonker stats, like
Peter, you
insane
muted
stats.
yourself.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
Hmm?
Peter muted himself.
Did I?
Yeah.
So I'll finish
yeah,
the pick.
thank
What
you.
if there's an item that gives you like bonker stats, but it costs 10k and you can't. There are no components. You just have to buy the item. You have to pretend. You have to slam 10k to the shopkeep.
So that in itself doesn't terrifically appeal to me. Just having an
Mhm.
item that's extremely expensive and extremely strong, but I'm just going to. Okay, I'm changing my key binding from mutes to be. There we go. Control M. Imagine almost finishing an item, and your teammate revives and disables that almost finished item. I had an idea. What about an item that rewards people more for killing you? Because that seems like a really toxic mechanic.
So like a pike R mechanic, but for the enemy.
Yeah, like maybe the golden spatula like ups your kill bounty.
Ooh, that could be nice. That could be fun. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
What's the dumb Dota item? What do you
No,
mean?
I think he's asking what's the dumb Dota item, which I think presumably does something like this.
Oh, okay.
Because Dota is much more punishing, so like I
Yeah.
can totally imagine that this
I
would
mean,
be
you
a
can-
thing in Dota.
Because with the couriers in Dota, you can literally destroy other people's like item. Well, not really their item.
I
Like
think
their-
you can
their-
steal them.
Yeah, you can steal them as well, which is.
We
kinda
need an
fun.
item to steal items from the enemy.
Oh my god! Okay, item that steals items.
Ah, like thieves'
Okay.
gloves.
Thieves' gloves. Oh my gosh!
Yes. Yes.
What?
I like it. I
I
like
can't
it.
spell either.
That's fair.
Thieves' gloves. Okay, yes, thieves' gloves. So we need a entertaining way, how does the Thieves' Glove steal items? Because just click on someone to steal their item, that's kind of boring. We need something. When you kill someone, do you get one of their items?
I think
When
like
you kill someone, you have to play a little mini game where you tap things
to be
or
st-
whatever.
when you
You have to do like a
yeah,
sort of a hand micro game through their pocket.
yeah, you have to play like Pac-Man or whatever, and you have to get all the fruits, and if you get all the fruits, you get the item.
You have to
I
play
ju-
Fruit Ninja, and if you get the high
Alright.
score, you get their item.
Happy's gone into a frenzy at this point. But what about a legitimately like a Thieves' Glove thing that when you kill someone, it
Mhm.
creates a stat agnostic version of one of their items.
Oh, okay.
Like in terms of like, you know, if it's an Infinity Edge, it just gives you like a bunch of damage or whatever, rather than so it's like
Yeah. No, I can get behind that. So this is kind of an actual item then. So if you kill someone, you get the stats of an item, and you can say like it does with the Xylus hijack. It converts stats into adaptive force, or you say because if you're in Syndra and you get the stats from an Infinity Edge, well, yeah, yay. But you can say,
Yay.
well, yeah, it converts the crit chance and the AD damage and the attack speed into AP. Ah.
That's fun, but only for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that could actually legitimately be kind of fun.
For sure.
So steals
Steal!
item
Thievery.
effects of killed target and gives you a stat stick of some kind.
And you can also have like an item, and we call it the old switcheroo. Or you
Okay, I
trade-
like it.
You trade inventories for 20 seconds, or for like
Okay.
10 seconds. So
Oh, that
it
could
is
be
it.
really if you use that in conjunction with the Thieves' Gloves.
Yes. But it's a very good item
gosh.
if you're behind and you're gonna get dove. You're like, okay, for the next 10 seconds I am safe because I am super weak and he's super strong, and we're gonna do the old switcheroo, and I'm super
Hey.
strong for 10 seconds.
I mean,
like
it's
that.
awful, but in a good way.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's
but
just
in a
as
good
awful
way.
as the Thieves' Gloves.
Thief well. It's all your lips.
I gotta say, guys, I think this has been one of the most fun episodes for me. At least.
I'm glad that we managed to. Okay, well, I guess we've got to an hour and a half, so I guess this is a good time as any. So let's throw all this stuff over here and just do a little thing of all of the items we've done. So we've got the let's get. I don't think the super cull really got any traction, so let's throw it away. The potion of teleport. So let's do a quick review of each of the items and see. I'd like from each of you a thumbs up or a thumbs down on each of these items. Do these items? I didn't want to tell you this because I didn't want you guys to feel pressured. But based on our votes here today, these items will go into League of Legends.
Oh.
I've got connections, let's just say. So it's going to be based on the thumbs up and thumbs down. So I don't want to be irresponsible. So only if both of you guys say yes to an item will it go into League of Legends, and it'll be there tomorrow.
Happy, we have the power to change the world here.
You do, and I'll open it to the chat as well. If you guys want to join in and throw in your votes, Divine Rapier, that's the one.
That's the Dota item.
Oh, let's quickly look up what that does.
Oh yeah.
Because
Things.
that's Divine Rapier, Dota.
Actually, I'm gonna look it up as well. Yeah.
What does it do? It's drops when the wielder dies, and it's just a bunch of extra attack damage. Okay. Yeah.
That's fun. Maybe next time.
Yeah, I mean that works. That seems pretty troll. Alright.
It's pretty troll.
So, I actually quite like this a lot. Yeah, 330 AD. It's very Dota, that idea. So consumable potion of teleport, rune of teleport, whatever. It in some way so it's being brought in to allow for people to not have to take teleports, because it doesn't work with teleport, but it lets you buy in a consumable version of it, which you can use to kind of make some of the same kind of plays. So from you guys, do you want to see this item in the game tomorrow? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Big
Alright.
thumbs up. I think it's a really good one.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll add it to the. Hopefully, this will all fit on screen. I'll add it to the good pile, and everything else will be chucked off screen into the bin. All right, so we never came up with a good name for it. Maybe Mike can help us here. The Reflect something something. Oh, we got a thumbs up from exclusive.
Yay.
So,
Thanks,
alright.
Thanks, Gerard.
That's 3 thumbs up. That means it's gonna be in tonight.
On PBE.
Yes, on PBE, and they don't get taken out again for being too fun. All right, so Reflect something. So I'm already iffy about it because it doesn't have a good name. But so this is an item that soaks the kind of it. So it takes the damage you're taking, makes it into kind of a pool, blows smoke at you, and then. Sorry, I'm just looking. So it gives you like it basically sets W, but instead of shooting out of the line thing, it gives you it kind of gives you a shot, like a mystic shot with the damage you've taken, and it charges at a greater rate when you're taking true damage. So it's not just against true damage; it's a general kind of soaking and then reflecting. So for you guys, is that a thumbs up or a thumbs down? And
If we find a good name for it.
A good name. Okay. Well, we have not come up with a good name for it yet. I will leave it over here, and if the chat can come up with a good name for it by the time we're done, it will stay, and otherwise it'll be thrown out. So, speaking of fantastic names, the Sunstone Pensioner.
Yeah!
Yeah. For the name. I don't care what it does. We should keep it just because of the name.
Please.
So this item means that when you heal someone, they get like an aura that they can cash in by entering combat, which gives them a small heal and some speed, and you can use the effect on them again with a per target cooldown that's reduced by the target auto attacking. Is it? Oh, so to go back to the previous question, for the Reflect something, is it like an Aurelian Soul projectile? You were saying like an Anivia snowball?
Well, I said the speed of an Nivea, as in it. I wouldn't mind if it was kind of slow, because it would probably be built by people who are already tanky and already have a lot of CC. So the thing is, if you're in melee range or if you're in CC, then that's kind of what you want to do. It's like this is your last resort.
Oh no, DMZ!
Oh, it could be Last Resort. The
Yeah.
item. That's
All
name.
right.
Yeah, last resort.
All right,
yeah.
sold. Actually, I really like the idea of it being like kind of high damage, but also really slow moving, because it's kind of it could become an aerial denial kind of idea. All right. So Dave Nightingale with a thumbs up. I'm not sure what he's thumbing upping exactly, but I guess. All right. So with the Last Resort's name in. Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? This is, of course, open to the chat as well. If there are more thumbs down in the chats than there are thumbs up from the host, then that will negate, and the item will be cast aside, never to be spoken of again.
How dare.
It will be cast down into the depths, into the pits of Tartarus themselves.
So I didn't actually get this set up so you guys can see each other. So when you thumbs up or thumbs down, you won't know until I call it out. So what's it going to be? Exodus Happy Light Sense, is the Last Resort worth putting into League of Legends here and now?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, travesty! Controversy! Someone, and I'm not saying who, but someone was not into the Last Resort. Maybe doesn't feel as strongly about true damage as someone else
I mean,
does.
it was their only good number, so.
So I'm afraid Last Resort, it's not good enough. Oh, an exclusive. It's like, I like the anti-shoot damage, but guess thumbs down.
Oh, got betrayed by my own follower.
Dave would have voted for it if it was called the Devastator, but it's not. So in the bin with you. Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, we got more pictures to come in. I'm not really sure what this is a picture for.
That's
What's
for the ghost baby.
All right, well then this is a good time as any to bring it in. So Sunstone can go down here. Actually,
No,
I'll make
but like, I would like Sunstone Pensioner is like a play or like a reverse play on Moonstone Renewer, but like we reversed the Renewer part and we also reversed the Moon part, but we didn't reverse the Stone part.
so
I mean-
Sunstand?
Now, what's the opposite of Stone?
Wood?
Wood? No, wind, right?
Yeah. So like
sun, wind, pensioner.
sun flare Pensioner maybe. Sun
I mean-
gust.
Sun.
I prefer Sun Flare just because it sounds a little bit more like an actual thing, whereas
Yeah.
Sun Gust is like, I bought a small amount of wind.
I bought
I
wind
bought
in a
a-
box.
Sun Flared? I don't know. Alright,
That sounds like flared pants.
yes. You have different ones for different fashion choices. Alright, actually, Sunbreeze Pensioner. Yes, let's do it.
Pensioner.
I mean, it has Pensioner in there, so it could already go into like all the directions.
Alright, Sunbreeze Pensioner, so that's a winner. Right, so what have we got next? We have got the Baby Death Knight's Mittens up for grabs for your consideration with a picture of the mittens, I
Of
guess?
the Baby Death Knight.
Oh, it's the Baby Death Knight. Is it just
That's
like...
not the mittens.
Yes, it also makes little chat messages into baby voice.
Well,
Hey, Taylor Wolf, how you doing? You're here just in
Hey.
time for the voting part of today, which is the most important
Yes.
part, of course.
happy Thanksgiving.
And unlike the U.S. elections, we're not gonna take an entire week to get it voted, to get it counted.
Oh no! All right, so Baby Death Knight's Mittens. So this item is it gives you Omnivam and a certain amount of stats, and lets you sort of build up. It's basically like a sort of a bloodthirster kind of thing, but it allows you to do it off any damage. But it also gives you a activatable effect that lets you bind to someone else, and you would duplicate that shield on them as well. So it's allowing for solo laners to have an item that lets them provide a more supportive function. Oh, hey Karen, how's it going?
Karen.
You're here just in time to see the results of our work, so this is probably the best time to come to the stream. We don't have to worry about us actually coming out with stuff. So, so I like the thumbs up or thumbs down from the chat. You might be charmed by the Baby Death Knight's Mitten's name, but do not be swayed, gentle internet, because we'll do anything we can to try and sway you. So, Exodus, Happy Light says, bearing in mind that the chat can override you if there's an excess of thumbs up or thumbs down. So I guess if you're split, then we only need a couple of thumbs up or thumbs down. So for the Baby Death Knight's Mittens, adorable. But is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Oh my gosh, that is quite a face, Abby. I love it. All right, that's 2 thumbs up. I can't imagine the chat's going to be mean enough to say no to mittens. So I think...
Give me the mittens.
Oh, the mittens! So let's stick it down here so we can still see it, but it's still taking up the whole screen.
Aww.
Alright, so what else have we got? Is that all of our items?
I think so. The rest was like bullshit items, no?
The rest was like bullshit.
You might be right.
Aw,
Exclusive.
thank you,
okay, so
exclusive.
Karen gives 2 thumbs up from Mexico, so we know it's good. Exclusive thinks it's a nice item for a solo laner and likes the drawing as well. So another
there
thumbs
we
up.
go.
That's like between you guys, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 thumbs up and a big old smile from Happy, which I'm pretty sure catch another thumbs up. So do we? We only had like. Okay, let's do a quick take on the bullshit items then.
I want all of them in game right now.
Alright, so quickfire. Revive returns. You come back to life, lose an item slot, and your team lose the ability to buy that item.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Actually, I think Riot should have like a kind of, as Happy would describe it, like bullshit game mode, where people say you can kind of accept. Look, guys, this game mode isn't serious. This game mode is just because wacky stuff for the sake of wacky stuff.
I mean, that was Nexus Blitz, surely.
That was kind of nice. Well, Earth, the first iteration of Earth was wacky stuff for the sake of wacky stuff. So it's like this is the revamp of Earth, where you say yes, Revive is in the game, but whatever, it has all these other stuff as well.
Okay, so if we make the assumption this is in the context of a goofy game mode, exclusive, it's like a Yorick baby, but better. Aww.
Mhm.
Ah,
Also,
A Yaby.
a Yavy.
oh god. Alright, so in this goofy game mode, which doesn't exist but should we have Revive Returns, which for some reason destroys item slots? Let's not ask too many questions. Is it a thumbs up or thumbs down from yourself and the audience?
Thumbs up.
Oh boy, that's surprising, but alright, so Revive Returns. Unless we get a strong... Oh, Moofeach says thumbs down. Exclusive is thumbs up, though.
Boo.
Controversial! Moofeach, Dave, what is it that offends you so much about the Revive Returns? Maybe you could persuade other people to switch their votes, because if we get 2 more votes for thumbs down, it will be exiled from all of existence, and it will be like we never did it.
I thought that this was an autocracy, not a democracy, but apparently we're changing the rules.
That's right, Prey doesn't like the random
Random
item loss. Okay.
Oh, so what if it gives you the item that you're gonna lose upon buying the Revive Returns?
Oh!
Wait, what?
Okay.
So it gives you, it like highlights the item that you're gonna lose when you die, when you buy the Revive Returns.
Okay,
so you
it's a
know
little
what you're
less
getting.
random?
I mean, it's not really less random, but like you can still decide to yeet the Revive Returns as you
Yeah.
see which item you're gonna lose.
Well, imagine you're like a mage and it highlights your Rabadon. You're like, nah, ain't having it. I'm playing
Oh.
super safe.
Dave is offended by this very notion, a
Uh.
cheating way of getting around it, he says.
Wow.
Damn, Dave, I didn't realise you had such strong opinions about game design. Alright, but I mean, the people have spoken. They want this in the game, no matter how, which item you'll lose. But no, I love it, Dave. I love the passion.
Mhm.
You don't have to play it.
So there we go. Revive Returns will remain in the game despite being a silly item. Alright, so next up we have the lag spike. For the next 20 seconds, your connection is routed through a different region's server, creating an unpleasant gameplay experience for you and your team. Is it a yay or a nay from both of you?
Nay.
Oh, okay. Let's delete it and pretend it never happened. It was mostly a joke anyway. All right, Golden Spatula. It gives you a bunch of stats, but ups your kill bounty by an indeterminate amount. Thumbs up or thumbs down? I can see Happy already in there with a firm, determined expression and a reaction. Exodus, though, where are you borderline?
I don't know.
Oh, Dave is... You see, Dave
Mhm.
is
Nice,
a
Dave.
gentleman
Nice.
of very distinctive tastes, and he says it's good. But Exodus, what are you on the fence here? What's holding you back? What's holding your heart in his hands?
The thing is, it kind of depends on how much the bounty is, because I can literally see people.
Oh, the
rob
bounty!
the item. But if you say it's like a 2K, if you say it's like an extraordinary 2K bounty, then definitely thumbs up, because you know people in solo queue are gonna get greedy.
Okay, so yeah, Wolf's right. It's okay. So it's a thumbs up from Wolf, and it's a thumbs up from Dave. So we're almost at the point of making you guys' vote irrelevant anyway.
I mean,
What-
I voted for the Golden Spatula.
That's
yeah,
true.
I voted thumbs up as well.
All right, so let's just pull a number. Actually, so if everyone could write a number into the chat,
Yeah, I'll do it as well.
then we'll
do it as
average that number, and that will be what the goal reward will be, because this is
And-
fun and interactive content.
Okay, but let's say the average. But if someone writes 10 million,
It's going to be a high average.
Oh, beans.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna use my Google Drive to enter these. So Happy Light says has already broken the system by putting in over 9,000.
I'm not logged in here, so I'm voting 2k golds.
Holy crap!
Bounty.
Okay, so we've got 9,000. We've got 2,000.
Oh, that's very
We've got
reserved.
500. I think Dave's trying to bring the average down by like
So-
Well,
No,
Wolf just has to write 1 now.
Yeah,
minus
But-
9,000.
it counts. It counts.
No!
Oh my gosh! I don't.
Pete, you have the final. You have the. I think you have the final number. You can pull something.
I'm gonna
in.
choose. I think I actually want to choose 500 as well. I think 500 is kind of reasonable.
Nah.
Thanks,
so-
exclusive. Wow.
1.
So average of those is it doesn't like averaging minus numbers. I'll tell you what. I'll take out minus 9,000. Does that still work? Did I
So
just?
no. So it's 2,000 plus 500 plus 1 divided by 4. No.
No, divided by
Okay, wait. I'll do this a different way because I can't use Excel.
divided
Wait,
by 6, right?
2,500, 1
So it's 3,000 divided
minus
by
9k, 9k. So it's divided by 5, no?
Divided by 5.
yeah.
So it's a
totally.
500 gold bounty then.
Okay,
Why- no,
500
it's,
gold.
it's the sorry. It is a 502 bounty because of exclusives 1.
Okay, 502 gold bounty. Brilliant.
No, 500.2.
Oh god.
Hmm.
All right, brilliant. Yep. Okay, so apparently we're keeping that in, even though it's totally garbage. Great. So happy. Golden spatula. Good job. We haven't even literally decided what you do, but you just give a kill bounty. All right. So we're almost at the end. The item that steals items, it's the Thieves' Gloves. It steals the item effects of the kill targets
Hey.
and gives you some kind of related stat stick. We didn't necessarily. I think this is more something that could have actually been a real item, but we didn't really think it out fully.
Mm-hmm.
An extra 1 gold every 5 kills. Yes! That's what we're here for. So, Thieves' Gloves. I think the idea of having Thieves' Gloves as an item is pretty neat. But from you guys, based on the item as it stands, I guess this is more like, it's not like, do you want to have it in the game, but would you want to see that idea developed further and then be in the game?
Oh, for sure.
No.
On!
Okay,
No,
exclusive
this
gave thumbs up
this
for the
is
spatula
just-
as well.
This is just Silas alt, which is already
But
not
with
fun,
items.
but with items. So like, no, I'm having none of that. No.
Oh man, okay, so with a split vote between our hosts here today, we put it to chat. So I will count from exclusive. Was that a thumbs up for the Thieves' Gloves? I'll count votes from here on
Sounds
out.
fun, and getting gloves after boots sounds comfy as well dressed.
If it's
No.
a temporary
And-
effect, then up for me. Okay.
Yeah, well, the stat stick is a temporary effect.
Yeah.
So
that's
you, it's kind of like,
Mordekaiser alt almost. Almost.
Right?
Where you get,
Oh boy, the chat is divided as well. Dave, what disgusts you about this item? Tell us all about it.
why do you hate all the things I love, Dave?
I mean, he's just,
Why
he's
do
just a
you
passionate
come
man.
here just to hate?
I love that this whole thing is letting we just mix together the different social circles to be like, it's too easy to get too many things. I think this will be I think the Thieves' Gloves, it wouldn't be like multiple items. I think it would be like one item. Like the Thieves' Gloves itself would be replaced with an item
yes.
temporarily, and then it would go back to being
Yes.
Thieves' Gloves.
Mhm.
So So if that's the only reason, Dave, it doesn't give you multiple items. So even though it definitely could be interpreted that way, that's not the intention with it. It's okay. So in that case, it
Nice.
was just confusion. So Dave, he's a reasonable gentleman. So okay, we've got thumbs up. So the Thieves' Gloves, it requires a little bit more work, but it's staying in the game. In fact, it might just get put in the game with that effect, and they'll just it would like TBC on effect. All right, and last but not least, it's the old switcheroo. Trade your entire inventory with somebody else for 20 seconds on a cooldown of some kind.
Yeah.
Is it thumbs up or thumbs down for probably one of the more believable but still very silly items?
I'm gonna give it the double thumbs up because I think this
Oh
is
my gosh.
really cool.
We should have made it a thing that you have like a one double thumbs up on the
Oh,
buzzer.
yeah.
Alright, so Dave is down for the old switcheroo. I think that's a really neat... That's totally a thing I could actually see happening. Just because they were like, can we do this? Let's try it.
And the thing is, it doesn't necessarily make either of you stronger because if like imagine you're an AD carry and a mage, and then suddenly, wow, I'm a Caitlyn with loads of ability power, whatever, and then you're like, okay, but now I'm a Cassiopeia who has like 700 AD and a lot of crit chance.
That's with the enemies, I think.
Oh yeah, no,
both
it's
of you
definitely
are
with the enemy.
Yeah, both of you are basically useless.
I like the idea, yeah. In some game mode like Earth, it will be fun. Yeah, these are 100% things that would be in Earth. And again,
this is the goofy game mode that will hopefully one day convince Riot to make.
Well, I think like this kind of thing, I could 100% believe they would make it just because they were testing some kind of technology for a different champion's abilities, and they wanted to see if it worked. But yeah, I think that'd be kind of fun. Like, I don't really know what the strategic implications of it would be, but it seems like the chat are into it. So yeah, all right. Wolf's a little hesitant about it. AD's just always really useful.
I mean, I think of it, okay? So, because certain champions have AP scaling on one particular skill. For example, like GP has enormous AP scaling on his W, or like Sion has enormous AP scaling on his W as well. So what you can do is...
has like 100% AP scaling on her ult.
Yeah, so what you can do is you can like do your entire combo, then switch with an AP, switch with an AP character, do that one particular skill, kill them, and then yeet the hell away.
It sounds pretty awful. Oh boy, Wolf is taking this probably more seriously than it needs to be taken. Every character has a basic attack, but not everyone has AP use. I think, yes, I don't know if it's a good item for the game, but it sounds like people are into the idea of having it be there. I think it might be one of those items like in Nexus Blitz which nobody buys, because no one can figure out why it's worth even being there. Yes. So they just put it in because there might be a fun interaction with it of some kind. But it sounds like we're keeping it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So yeah, that's everything. We've managed to ruin
funny,
everything. Everything forever. Okay, so in that case, then, before we wrap up for today, was there anything you guys would like to shout out for your kind of own projects or anything that you've got going on?
No, because end of season. I do want to... there's one funny story. I already tweeted it, but it is hilarious, though.
Okay.
I also kind of work as an IT, let's say, consultant and whatever, like freelance.
Cool. Wait, I thought you were a bartender.
Yes. Yes, as well.
Oh, boy.
I do a lot of freelance stuff. Okay. So it's like all the things I'm sort of good at. So there was this client who wanted to have like he said, I want to have Wi-Fi as far as possible. I was like, okay, what do you mean as far as possible? Are we talking like 50 meters? No. I'm talking like several kilometers. Like, okay. So I bought this item from China, which is it's probably not allowed in Europe, but whatever.
So you irradiated an area, yep.
Yeah. I also said to him, you're gonna want to install this on the roof, and you're gonna want to make sure that your roof is isolated, But anyway. Basically, the advertisement said it gives about 5 kilometers of Wi-Fi range, of a very, very decent Wi-Fi range. It was a bit more, it was around 6 to 7. So we installed it, we tested it out, literally drove in the car around with a cell phone, see if we were still on the Wi-Fi. Then afterwards, I asked, did you want this, by the way? And his answer was...
Afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards. And his answer was...
Well, I want to be on my when I'm in the bar, when I'm in my bar I usually go to, or at my mom's place. The Wi-Fi sucks, so I want to be on my own Wi-Fi there. And then then he installed it, and then I said, "Well, why wouldn't you just buy more 4G?" And then his facial expression went, "Oh yeah, that's a better idea."
After you'd installed this, possibly
After we
suspects
installed it, yes.
Oh my
merchandise.
And this is a 100% true story. I'm not making this up.
Okay, well, so Exodus might have admitted to some kind of international crime, so let's move past that quickly. So Happy, anything you'd like to shout out today?
Yes, I also like to do crimes. No, I'm not a dirty crime boy. I do play TFT most mornings from like 10 a.m. Central European time to like 12 or like a little bit after 12. Except for Tuesdays because no wait, not Tuesdays. Except for Wednesdays because I have college on Wednesdays. On twitch.tv/HappyLightSense. And sometimes I play Minecraft as well because I'm trying to build a house out of cobblestone, but people keep annoying me, and so like I haven't really built my house yet. But I'm gonna.
That's a compelling story, Happy. I feel the urge to watch it rising.
At least I'm not doing crimes.
I'm not doing crimes. No.
No one admits the crimes on the internet.
I'm
Everything-
not doing crimes. I'm just saying that
Collage.
this particular item, I'm not 100% sure, but might not be
Well, it's
allowed.
the old
Okay,
truth.
let's just move on. Everything Exodus is saying is merely some kind of
No, Taylor,
art.
no.
Nothing said. No, you've made Wolf think the crime is cool. Both start with a C, collage and crime. Turns out they were the same thing. The whole. Oh my gosh, an exclusive.
I'm going to crime college.
I'm going to crime college. Oh no, we've broken the internet, and building a Minecraft house is probably also criminal. I don't know if Happy
Especially
got
if you're-
permits for that.
Especially if you're building it out of cobblestone.
Cribblestone.
Crime
I don't. Sorry, Happy. I thought you were like shushing us with your finger in your lips, but I. Like, I'm not going to say anything, but I'll just be quiet. All right, so we should probably do the end of the show.
It's like going off
Yeah.
the rails so far.
All right, so we're going to be back in 2 weeks' time because unfortunately my schedule doesn't allow for us to do weekly stuff right now. But we're going to be back. So this is our first time ever designing League of Legends items. I think it went pretty darn well, guys, considering that we don't know what we're doing.
Let's say there were two parts of the show. One that went constructively and one that was...
Yes, if you turned up late, you probably turned up for the best part. All right, so we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. So we very much do appreciate you guys if you could give us a follow, and we'll say again 2 weeks' time. So not this coming Thursday, but Thursday afterwards at 8 UK time, 9 EU time. We're on Twitter as well, which will have a little notification once we go live. We'll of course be spamming all of our Discords and things. So if you're in there already, then you'll likely get notified next time we'd happen. But again, like, it's been lovely to have you guys here, learning criminality from Exodus.
Oh,
I'm
come
sorry,
on, man.
Moofeach is going to go dig a hole in a hill for a house. You know, Happy, before Moofeach met you, he lived in an actual house, and now he lives in a hole.
I used to live in a hole.
Really?
The default spawn in the Minecraft server that I'm on was in like a village.
I
So I
thought
occupied-
IRL.
No. So I occupied one of the village's houses and dug a hole in the ground, and then
Okay.
like lived in there.
So Happy is a ferret, confirmed. Alright, so anyway, on that bombshell, we'll bid you guys goodnight again. You can find Caster Exodus and Happy Light Sense at their Twitter handles under their faces. Yes, a hobbit hole. They're pretty good, actually. Those things seem like quite nice to live in.
True.
But yeah, so again, 2 weeks' time, we'll be back. And again, just like Happy, I'm streaming TFT with her. Exodus, I believe you were you thinking about joining on the TFT train in some way?
Maybe. The thing is, I don't know the new set of TFT, but if I'm like, I fixed
my sleeping schedule, so I might be joining in.
Okay, yeah, like so it's most days. I'm trying to make sure it's every day. Oh, exclusive. Can you translate that?
Yeah. So that means that's literally when you say like you live in like a very rural area, like you're end of nowhere. Instead of we saying I live in the end of nowhere, we say I live in a hole. That's that's like a Dutch expression, yeah.
If you were translating that to English, you might call it the arse end of nowhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
something
we
along
said
those
that
lines.
too.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. It's a
Huh.
thing in German as well.
How does
Dutch
it sound in
and
German?
It's like, am Arsch der Welt.
Ah. Well, there you go. See,
Wow,
we're bringing
the more
people
you
together. International sharing we didn't know existed.
Pog.
And also, we've made it to 2 hours on the thing which we did no preparation for at all. Yes.
Yay.
Can we stop now? I'm tired.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're gonna stop
same.
now. We're all tired. Thank you
Nice.
guys so much for joining us. And yeah, 2 weeks time we shall return. Eventually, we'll hopefully be getting up on our weekly schedule again, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Champion Forge on Twitter, Champion Forge on Twitch. You're watching right now, and then we'll catch you guys in 2 weeks time.
Bye.
Bye.